There was a few times watching this movie where I was like, man, this movie has lost its fucking mind. The time has finally come. Deadpool 2 is dropped, and I'm here to review that today, y'all. And I'm gonna say that, yo, with superhero movies, man, 3 for 3. Black Panther knocked it out the park. Infinity War, to me, knocked it out the park. And I feel Deadpool 2 knocked it out the park and exceeded my expectations of this movie. Because coming into this, I was nervous because I read some negative press about it, how they had some test screenings and the test screenings were negative, they didn't go too well. Coming into a Deadpool movie, you know you're going to expect some real raunchy comedy. You're going to expect some raunchy comedy, you're going to expect some gory action, okay? And the dramatic element of it is what really surprised me in this movie, because there were a few times when I was watching this and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm feeling a little emotional. I'm not supposed to feel this in a Deadpool movie. So the film as a whole did its job, man. Like, I really had a lot of fun watching this, while at the same time I was like, damn, like, I'm starting to get choked up a little bit, you know? So it does kind of mess you up emotionally. The question I asked myself when I was driving home was, okay, what did I like better, Black Panther, Infinity War, or Deadpool 2? I'm not going to answer that question until like near the end of the year, when I give these movies a few more viewings and really, you know, let it sink in, because I've seen Infinity War now 3 times. I've seen Black Panther like 5 times. I've only seen Deadpool 2 once. But these movies, like, I felt something different with each of them, so it'll be unfair for me to say which one I like the best until later on. But I liked them all differently. Like, Black Panther culturally was a masterpiece, you know what I'm saying? For what the movie represented, as flawed as it was and as bad as the CGI was, the movie was very important, man. It was necessary, and it really reflects today's times. And so I just felt proud walking out of Black Panther. Infinity War left me emotionally drained after I walked out of there. You know, it had epic action. You know, everything was on point except for one thing. But I left out of the theater feeling like really emotional, man. Like, damn, like that shit kind of got me. And it had really a memorable villain in Thanos. And speaking of Thanos, your boy Josh Brolin, killing it, man. Killed it as Thanos, and now he killed it as Cable. This guy was like the fucking Terminator. Not John Kreese. John Kreese, that's Cobra Kai. But he was like the Terminator slash Kyle Reese almost, man. Like, the guy has a Terminator type mission, and he's not a clear-cut bad guy. And to be honest with you, as many comics as I read back in the day, I don't remember too much Cable. I remember I had the action figure. This is the Cable action figure that I had back in the day, man. So yeah, well, I lost the gun. I don't know where his gun went, but yeah, this was Cable's original design from the 90s. To me, I mean, Cable was a lot more menacing than Winter Soldier was. Even in the Winter Soldier, as badass as Bucky was in Winter Soldier, yeah, I gotta give that to Cable in this one. Sorry. About halfway through, I was thinking, you know what? This is probably the best X-Men movie I've seen in a long time, and it's not even technically an X-Men movie. That's sad. Like, this movie, as great as it is, this movie kind of makes the X-Men look uncool. Like, the X-Men at one time were like the coolest superhero team in Marvel, and now it's like, you know, forget the X-Men, it's all about X-Force, you know what I mean? So even though, well, that goes into the spoiler talk, I don't want to get into spoiler talk. Ryan Reynolds really knocks it out the park as Deadpool once again, and I feel like it was better than the original. I think this movie was better than the first Deadpool, and there's really nothing negative I can say about it. The only flaw that I can give this movie was there's a certain character where the CGI was not really good. And I'm going to get into that in the spoiler talk. The CGI was not really good on this character. And I was like, as happy as I am to see this character, I'm like, the CG looks bad. I said they couldn't do a better job than that, because watching this, you can see evidently they had a bigger budget. They had a much bigger budget than they had on the first one. But that's what made the first one special, because even though it didn't have a big budget, but with what it had to work with, it, you know, well, it made up for it with the humor and with the action and with the writing. You know, it made up for the lack of money that they had to back the film up. But in this film, it's like, okay, here's double the money. Let's make a bigger and better sequel, which they had but this character just didn't really look too good. I was like, it was a little cringeworthy. But overall, man, it was a great time, man. I really enjoyed it, man. I liked everything about this movie, man. So with that being said, I'm gonna give Deadpool 2 an A. Not quite an A plus, but I'm gonna give it an A, man. It was a great time. Oh, and I have a serious crush on Domino. Who is the actress that plays Domino, man? That chick is Nubian. Whoa, I was like, at first I was like, okay, and the more the movie went on, I was like, I don't know if it was the wild hair or the black tight outfit, you know, but I was like, damn, I said, Domino, fine motherfucker, you know what I mean? Now, I'm gonna get into some spoilers. Mild spoilers though, because I mean, I've only seen the movie one time, so I can't really go into depth spoilers like that, but I'm just gonna tell you some of the things that bothered me and some of the things that I did really like about this movie. So, I'm going into spoiler talk. I'm gonna give you a second or two to stop this if you haven't seen the movie yet. So, spoiler warning. Once again, spoiler warning. Okay, here we go. So, the character that I was talking about where the CGI was bad, Juggernaut. Ugh, man. I knew it was him the whole time because they teased him in the trailers. They teased him online. They was like, okay, Juggernaut's gonna be in this movie. So I was like, okay. And when they showed the prison and showed they had like the biggest mutant there, I'm like, okay, the biggest mutant I can think of in the X-Men universe is the Juggernaut. And when he first popped out, I'm like, shit, Juggernaut, I knew it. When I first saw the helmet, I lost my mind. And when I saw the rest of him, I was like, damn, he's big. He looks like the Juggernaut. But the CGI on him almost was reminiscent of 2003's Hulk. It didn't look good. Like, he had, the whole movie, he just had this yellow prison jumpsuit on. And I guess they couldn't give him, you know, the full uniform like he had in the comic book because it would be ridiculous looking. But I'm like, it didn't look good. The fight that he had with Colossus, though, you know, on paper, it looks good. And yes, I would love to see a Colossus and Juggernaut all-out battle, all-out fight. But the fact that the CG on Juggernaut was so bad, it kind of took me out of the fight a little bit. And it kind of took away from the character. And I was like, okay, this is the one flaw of the movie that I can think of. But other than that, perfect movie. Okay, besides from the Juggernaut's CG being really bad, the beginning of the movie, where Wade's girlfriend gets killed, that shit had me like, damn. I said, okay, we're gonna start the movie like this because she was a big part of the first movie, and now in this one she gets killed off like that, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a revenge tale, which is not. It was about Wade finding himself again after hitting rock bottom and, you know, pulling his life back together. So I'm like, wow, this actually has like a serious story, but with that Deadpool twist on it, and I really dug that, man. And the shit that made me laugh, probably the funniest thing that made me laugh in this movie was when Juggernaut split him in half and his little baby legs started growing. That was at the point of the movie where I was like, man, this movie has lost his fucking mind. This dude is growing baby legs. Got his little baby Peter popping out, and I'm like, man, I said, what are these filmmakers doing, man? And even with the after credit scenes, I thought that was pretty cool. Like they took a different route, because with Marvel movies, the post credit scenes are mid credits and then after the credits, but this time they just stuck them all like in one segment, and I thought that was cool. Yo, even the shit with X-Force, like that surprised the shit out of me, and I probably laughed. That was probably the second hardest that I laughed in this movie, was when X-Force was coming down. And mind you, these are some big name actors, man. You got Pennywise, okay, Terry Crews. I forgot the other people, but anyways, okay, this is supposed to be X-Force. Deadpool just gave this big ass speech, and they're coming down on their with the parachutes, and they all get killed, except for Domino. I was like, wait, but I said, did they just kill all these people, man? And my daughter's next to me like, they're all dead? I said, yeah, baby, they're all dead. Oh yeah, by the way, big shout out to my daughter Renaya. Her birthday was yesterday, May 17th. She just turned 13 years old. Damn, I have a 13-year-old. That is crazy, yo. I'm getting old. Surprisingly, there was an arc to Wade's character, because Wade was usually, you know, shoot first, slice up first, ask questions later, but you know, because he's trying to save this kid from Cable, you know, he has a change of heart. He doesn't believe in really killing anymore. He believes in letting karma get you, which he lets happen to the villain at the end. So Wade has a character arc, which is surprising. And I thought he was I thought he was gonna go, because he was like, well, you know, Logan died in his movie, so I'm gonna die in my movie. And I'm thinking to myself, now that Marvel has did this this deal where they got Fox now, I'm like, well, I guess that's gonna be the end of Fox's Deadpool. So I'm like, okay, I guess they're gonna kill him and probably bring him back for the MCU in another form or whatever. But nah, he actually, well, he died and then he came back. And it's funny that the part where I was getting emotional, where I wasn't supposed to, were when he was like taking his last breaths and he was, you know, going down the line, you know, talking to everybody. And they, if you notice, they were playing the Logan music in the background from Logan when Logan died. And I cry every time I watch that scene in Logan where he died. So I'm sitting there getting choked up, like I'm tearing up. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is Deadpool. Why the hell am I crying at Deadpool, man? I said, fuck you for putting this music in the movie, getting me emotional. I think they're going to use that, I guess they're going to use that time travel thing to bring her back and to, you know, change a lot of shit, which they did in the post-credits. But I'm like, wait a minute. I said, so this is probably what they're going to do for Infinity War also. They're probably going to, you know, use the time reversal to bring all these characters back and stop Thanos from even getting the gauntlet before he gets it. So, yeah. So that's my spoiler, non-spoiler review for Deadpool 2. I give it an A, man. Fun time at the movies, man. What did you guys think about it? Comment below, comment freely. Thank you for watching. As always, this is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.